Okay, so great. Quick question. How many of you watched the little demo video? Give me a yes or a no, or one or a two. Did you watch it or didn't you? Yes, yes. Tim did not. Okay, cool. All right. Yes, yes. Somebody's pretty excited. They watched it 3 times. Okay. All right, cool. So you guys basically have an idea of what it is that we're going to do and share with you today. And Henrik is going to kind of go through a number of different things and, kind of wow you a little bit. But let me just give you a little bit of a background. A couple of weeks ago, we did a video on, maybe it was 3 weeks ago or something, hodgepodge and how to use sheets. And I had Barry on, and, Barry was showing all these things that he was doing, for our customers with sheets, and taking, one keyword and a backlink and then putting them on pages and then taking other keywords. And I mean, it was freaking taking him forever, to accomplish that task. And so, I was kind of sitting back watching him do that and thinking, there's got to be a better way. Now, and there is a better way, and we've developed it, and we're going to share it with you. Now, let me just get the elephant out of the room at the beginning. We've had some people say, why isn't this part of Ranking Factory? And I'm like, okay, let me answer that. What you have in the Ranking Factory, you've had in the Ranking Factory, and we've added a lot of shit to the Ranking Factory over time. And unlike most of the people that you buy shit from, where you buy it and then they come out with another version and then recharge you, and then come out with another version and recharge you again, 4 or 5 or 6 times, we have never upgraded anybody's payment. So I don't want to hear any crap about the fact that, why isn't this part of the Ranking Factory, or why isn't this part of the GMB, because it's not. It's a separate product that we're going to sell to the marketplace. And you already have a good tool. I mean, the Sheets is a good tool within Ranking Factory, but this is on steroids, okay? And, we're spent a lot of time, building this and a lot of money putting into it, and I'm not going to just add it to the Ranking Factory, or GMB. So if that's something that irritates you, then, sayonara, see you later, too bad. Okay, that being said, this is freaking crazy. This is nuts, what we've been able to do. And once again, how many of you guys watched some of the and donated to the Marco webinars? Anybody in here, donated to Marco and saw some of the webinars? Yes. Cool. So one of the things Marco, did and shared with us, and we all know that Semantic Mastery is awesome. We're kind of, not rivals, but friends. And Marco's coined and developed this stacking concept. And so we've kind of taken that idea, and Henrik has really put his teeth into this and come up with a lot of things. And Chris is, I don't even know if Chris has got any fingers left, but, he's really put a lot of effort and time into this. So I want to give a big shout out to Chris for doing this. And, we're going to kind of show you some things and have a discussion. And, I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to have some questions or want to do some things that, maybe in the future we can build into it. But for right now, I'm just going to let Henrik kind of go through the steps and the why-fors, because he always tells me I talk too much. So I've only talked for 4 minutes, Henrik. So it's over to you, bud.
So we can close the webinar now and then.
Stop it. All right, man. Take it away.
Okay, guys. What we have done with the sheets is actually we expanded the basic sheets to include some new areas. And I will go through an example just in a second, then you get a better idea about it. The tool in itself also includes the map variances. So if I go into my GMB Maps here, clear that, then you'll be able to to get variances. So you will go in, you will find your GMB, which you choose by choosing your brand up here. Then you choose your location, and then you will generate. If it doesn't generate a proper maps URL in the maps variance section, which is over here, then you run simply by clicking here. Then it will generate a new map for you, and it will extract the map URL, and you will see that here over in the map variances over here.
And you have to make sure that you've got the Latin long in there, it won't work.
Yeah, first it will normally just give you the map URL if you don't do anything. And that's why I say if you go back here and click on generate, it will ensure that you have the Latin long here. So what I can do is I can say, okay, I want to make X numbers of variances of that URL. You decided up here how many you want. I'll take here a standard. You can, I have to say, you can say you only want the randomness either to be on the longitude or the latitude. So either north, south, east, east, west, or both. And then you hit run. And it will generate the amount of variances of the map URL here. You see down in the bottom, it's creating an awful lot. What's wrong here?
Finished?
It's finished. Well, I don't know how many it created, but it created quite a lot. I think I'll clear it and run it once again, so I'm sure I only have 50. Okay. Then I will send it to my sheet. So click here to send it to sheets. And you can see I have all my variances down here. And now I can decide what I want to do. I'll put it in a folder on, we'll call it video marketing. Just for the sake of this example. And I'll create a subfolder which I will call video marketing Florida. I want some primary keywords, which I put in here. I'll take some secondary keywords, which I'll put in here.
So you guys notice something different right here that can save you boatloads of time? You're not restricted to just one keyword and one secondary keyword.
Yeah, but you have to be careful that you have to create some relevance to what you're doing. So what I can do in addition to this, so if I just run it as it is here, it will create a sheet and it will have what you normally would see, like sorry, created the CSV file. I didn't want that. But normally you would have 3 columns, one with an anchor text, which is the primary keywords, and an anchor text on the right side, which is the secondary keywords, and then you will have a naked URL. So what I'm gonna do now, I will go in here and I will say, okay, I have some locations here. So now I can add to the mix that I'm creating additional keywords. Like this. So it actually very fast creates variations for the keywords. I have named my sheets video marketing, And I can go down here and say, I want to import the NAP into the file description. I want to import the NAP into the parent folder, and I want to import the NAP into the child folder that I'm creating. You can see up here, it will create 1,800 rows in the sheet. And if you multiply that with the 12 here, the primary keyword count, that's the amount of folder it will create when I'm using this one, which is called primary keyword stack up here.
So
I'll go up and choose.
Warning over there. Hang on a second, Henrik. I want everybody to realize that that word warning is there for a reason. Okay. And we just want you to be aware as you are doing this, you know, it can get out of hand, and we're not responsible for it getting out of hand, but that warning is just to give you an indication of what it is that you're building here and to be prudent. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, thanks, Henrik.
Okay. Before I run this one, let's go to a little chart here. So basically what we're doing is we are creating the parent folder, and we are creating a lot of subfolders, and in each of these subfolders we will have a sheet going into. So we will siphon up and end up here with the linked use, and then we can take that folder, embed that into a gsite, or we can take each individual sheet and embed that into whatever we want to embed it into. But that's the basic idea, the basic concept behind the folders. Everybody understand that? Give me a 1 out there if you are okay with that.
So far everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
Diagram helped.
So what I will do now is I will go upload this one. So I hit upload. And you can see on the lower left side that it's running. Sorry. So it's generating a new sheet. And you can see up here in this child folder, it will change the name up here. It will change the sheet name here as they are being produced. It's still working. And if you go wild, it can work for quite a long time. I managed to break it when it's was creating 3,455,100 links. That seems to be the break point for me.
Put it this way, guys, we've tried a lot to crash this thing.
So it finished now. So what I can do, I can go over to my G drive. I can go into the folder which is created, this video marketing. And you can see it has created those folders in here. And if I go into a video production in Miami, it has created a sheet in there. And I will have a sheet with 1100 rows in it. Every single one will produce my little GMB map. So if I click here, it will load Google Map for me. So if you decide on a keyword strategy where you want to silo, so that will end up with video marketing. Here I could just have chosen video marketing and taken the different cities that I want to target. I could create another campaign on the same level and maybe give variances of my keywords, or I could decide that I want actually for video marketing in Miami, this one, I want to go deeper. So if I want to go deeper, I could go back here and then I'll have video marketing Miami up here. I can't spell to it tonight, sorry about that. Like this, and then maybe have a child folder which will be a suburb or an area of Miami, and then again you will have your keywords here which will be the areas, and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper into that area. Can everybody follow the kind of strategy that you could apply? There's so many possibilities here that you won't believe it. But give me a one if you're okay with that. Super. So what else do we have in the? You'll get the published URLs here, of course, which you can take, and you might notice there's a little feature over here which is called an iFrame. So you can take that iFrame and try to embed it wherever you can. I had to tell you that you can't iFrame and Google folder anymore. The only way you can iFrame that is actually to embed it in the gsite. But you can take the sheets and iFrame those, and this is what we have done over here. What else is in the toolbox? Well, we have the sheets, we have the URL shortener. So if you just have one URL, then you can make the numbers of variances that you have down here. You can see I have taken my map URL in this instance and made a lot of variations down here, 70 of them. So that's another possibility that you can do. Then, of course, we have the iFrame tool in itself. So if there's just one you want to create an iFrame for, you paste in the URL here, you give a keyword-rich name for it, and you make your height and width for the iFrame which suits you, and then you hit generate, and then you will generate the code over here. And last, we have the links indexer. So if you want to send your links to or use the 500 links that you can per day, if you have inserted the, if you're not inserted the speed index API key, then you can max index 500 links per day. So that's basically a quick overview of what we have in the sheets, the Backlink Factory. So any questions out there once we add in?
Can you integrate the SEO AP guys new indexer into your tools? We can integrate.
Yeah. I think that will be a possibility. Clint.
Whose tool is that? I mean, we can add as long as we have an API, we can add it. It's not a problem. Is there a free allowance indexing drip or blast links? I mean, under the one that we have, you get 500 a day. So it's not it's a drip. It's just, you know, there's 500 that are available each day. Use them or lose them. But, you know, they're free. So just use them at your will. Is this solely for links to GMB? No, these can be videos, can be websites, can be GMB biz sites, can be inner pages. You know, you can do this to anything that you want. That URL box can be any URL that you can think of putting in there. And, you know, there's a lot of different things in terms of the content as well, not just the URLs, but we have a spinner in here so that, you know, you can put content in, and as these are building these pages out in the comment section, you can also spin that out and have different content for each of the links. Can you explain custom keywords and folder link stack one more time, please?
Yeah. If I click the folder link stack here, it will create a link between the folders that you're creating. So they will interlink in addition. You could say that's actually redundant, because when you have a parent folder and create a subfolder within, then there's implicit a link between those two entities. But what will happen is that it will place down here when you run it a link down here below in the file description. The custom keywords. So if you don't want to use the primary keyword, but you want to stack after another set of keywords, you can choose this one down here. Put any keyword that you would in here. So that will be different from what's in the sheet. So yeah, how to link to a gsite, for instance. So it's maybe a little bit more relevant. So if I wanted to do that, and now we have a new parent folder called Video Marketing Miami and Video Ranking Miami. So if I do the same, I will only create 3 times as 3 folders here based on this one. And we're creating 450 unique rows in the sheets. So if I upload this, it will work a little bit again.
Maybe you can pull up your drive and show the hierarchy. There you go.
So that's how it's done. So it's finished now. So it took these keywords and create those folders on that basis. The main keyword is still within the sheets. And the secondary keywords as well. So does that answer your question?
What Carolyn is asking what's inside those folders, but I think you just showed her, right?
Yeah, I just showed her this.
Okay. All right, cool.
There's the sheet. For each of the folders, a sheet will be created.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put links in here in just a second for what we're going to do. John's asking, is it good practice to only load 3 keywords, anchor text per day? Part of the answer to that question, John, is we've only been doing this for 3 weeks. We've got, unfortunately, the guys that have some really great testimonies are not able to be here tonight, but I think you've seen some of it maybe in one of the groups, but Jared, he's been working a year for trying to get on the #1 spot in 3-pack. And literally, I think he said a year, didn't he, Henrik?
Yep.
And he's done everything that he can think of to try to move the needle on that. I mean, he was in the 3, but and many of the keywords and some weren't, but the other day he sent us a notice, that said that within 10 days, I think it was, of doing this, he's now moved up to the #1 spot and knocked the #1 guy down. So that's pretty cool. A couple other people are replying back that they're getting results fairly quickly and some movement. And then, on the other hand, Henrik, you like blasted, and Terry's blasted, a lot of links to a lot of places, and you're really just kind of not seeing a whole lot of movement, but some dancing going around. So, jury's still out on what is the good and the bad and the ugly on this. But I think, reasonably speaking, is if you be the turtle and, take it easy and take it slow, you're probably, in my opinion, going to do better than if you do what Henrik just did and blasted 3 million links to a site. Terry's done the same thing. Terry, you're here. If you want to pop on and share what you're doing and what your thoughts are, would be great too.
Yeah, I love the software. I have tried to break it, and I've sent a set of sheets, folders, 7 folders was all, but 189,000 rows in each one, and of course 3 links in each of those. The beauty of that, though, is those 7 folders and the main folder those 7 were in were only 8 URLs, so I could index them with free indexing, not having to worry about the fact that I had, 600,000 links I was indexing with those 7 or 8 URLs. And also, Henrik didn't point it out, but he didn't really need to. Hopefully, most people on here are familiar with Ranking Factory Revolution and stuff, but notice the translations still work in this. You can run this in any language. Well, in any of the languages that it supports, which is 20 some of them. So a little a day in my mind, what Henrik just ran, 1,800 or 1,100 rows. Again, it's 3 links per row, so 3 times that in each sheet is still a little for a day. That's not going to overload anything.
Yeah, I think, and you pointed out the other value, which is if you're in Ranking Factory, what's the value of doing this way, Terry, and then stacking? I mean, that just brings it to another level.
Yeah, you can take these, this display here, diagram Henrik has showing, you can embed this into a gsite. You can embed it into your press release. You can embed it into your clouds. And if you open that folder back up at some point in the future and you add some more lines, whether you do it through the software or manually, that updates wherever you've embedded it. So you can pound gsite and cloud properties with these kind of links. I mean, because you'll notice on these links now, it'll take a second for this sheet to load completely, but when it does, there on the right hand side you see the share button. This is a public spreadsheet, so all the links are public. Google has it indexed and has seen these links, and feel free to share them, by embedding them anywhere you want also.
Does everybody know how to get the embed code? It's extremely easy.
He's trying to concatenate this, but
No,
over there under edit, or is it file? You've got your embed code if you want it.
Yeah.
Or you can go to that share button, go to advanced, and it'll give you a code also.
File, publish to the web, and then get it right there.
Yeah, but it's easier to get it over here and say, okay.
Yeah, click on advanced at the bottom, and
yeah. And then we have published on the web. That's okay.
And there's your link.
That's the one.
That's a link here.
And I wanted to find it down here. Publish to the web. And there you have the embed code.
So with that, once again, you take that and you put it into your Blogger if you got the ITTT, and that does your Blogger. If you're doing press releases, you got the embed code for all of your sheets that you're making, for the press release embed codes. And then if you got all those embed codes, you can do the embed codes in the embed network, and just, kind of keep going on and on and on and on, about how you're going to be able to put these. But, there's a lot of power in being able to build these and stacking them and doing the way that we're doing it, more so than just within the sheets that we had within Ranking Factory and GMB Factory, simply because it's just one at a time. And this kind of cuts your labor exponentially.
Yeah, if you use Google Sheets in RFR and got a lot out of it, and hopefully everybody does, you'll recognize that how much more you can do with this.
But if you take a look at the screen now, you can see that if you have a sheet which is static in per definition, you could go in, insert a function, you will find under the web an import feed, and there you can import an RSS feed. So if you have a calendar feed or something else that you want to update your sheet with because it's embedded into your gsite, then everything will be updated. So that's a good way to get a continuous update on your gsite and your sheets. So if you stick this into a cloud stack you have created in RFR, you can import that feed as well into that stack.
And everywhere you've embedded this sheets will update no matter where it's embedded. So it refreshes everything.
Like Scott, he's very successful. He's at work, so he can't really share with us. But he is using these in bloggers and tumblers and you know, a lot of other social networks as well. Does the iFrame tool embed, or is that just for other places / software?
It gives you the embed code that you can put in other places.
Right. Okay. What's inside the folders? Pricing options. I'll put a link in here in just a second. Are all folders and sheets published to the web? Yes. Can you tell us about the testimonials? Yes, I just did. I think
David is asking whether you could create a parent and several child sets and then silo each child to set with the custom keywords. Yes, you could, but there'll be two processes. So the deeper they go, you have to repeat whatever you have done.
But you can take the URLs of these sheets and put them into your other folders.
Yeah.
That you're doing. So you can silo them all together. It's just
Yep.
that extra step. You have to have the URLs that you've used already.
So what you're trying to say, Patrick, if you take these and go up and create a new subfolder with these in it, then you have a new round where you, in those subfolders, would exchange these key links with your own folder keywords. So you have a stack within the stack.
And if you go back to that published URLs tab, you'll see above those URLs, there is a send back to sheets tab to do it for you and set it back up for you.
Yep.
So it's built to do that.
send the sheets URLs right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a fabulous piece of software. Saves you a lot of time and really takes advantage of the power we've known Sheets had. It's just been a lot more work to use all of this power with just RFR, or certainly manually for that matter.
So here's a question from Yondo or John Doe, whatever. It's a J, could be silent. Don't know if this has been mentioned, but bouncing off an idea / embed parent folder to a gsite, then embed gsite to a press release or anything else that you can embed it in, and then treat that parent folder like a playlist that we can update and keep the echo alive, so to speak. In other words, you know, as you add to the playlist or add to the gsite information, it rejuvenates, you know, whatever property is living on.
Yep.
So it doesn't have to be a gsite. It could be a press release. It could be a website. It could be.
Now, what she's saying, Patrick, is that if you take the gsite, embed that into a press release.
Yeah.
I frame that into a press release, and then if you have a sheet that is updating, the sheet is updating the gsite is updating the press release in principle.
Yep. Exactly. Same thing happens with a blogger.
That press release is spread out to your IFTTT network and is in your cloud.
Exactly. So yes, it's kind of perfectly the way that we want to use the properties that we have, but we're just using a much more powerful gun, so to speak, with this way of developing than the hard way and the long way. And you know, Barry showed me that, you know, the way that he was doing that and creating all the links, he was just killing himself trying to do them and copy and pasting and doing them and, you know, getting lost. And this way is just, you know, miles ahead of the game. You know, if you're a beginner, where's the best place to start ranking local businesses in GMB? I don't know, the best place to start would be, you know, GMB Factory, and start posting and start doing driving directions and start doing all the things, you know, Q&As, you know, and doing everything that Google wants you to do for, you know, that GMB, because they gave you the opportunity. If you leave it blank, if you don't reply to your reviews, if you don't do Q&As, if you only do one post a month, you know, it's basically just taking what they've given you and doing it, and using every opportunity that they give you to fill in that hole with information. I mean, I don't know if that's a simple answer, unless you guys got a more complicated answer, but you know, that's how you start. You know, Paul says sometimes it can take a week or more for stacking to start moving the needle. I found the link on Skype and signed up. Oh, okay. Jumping the gun there, Brian. Dwayne, that's a sheet ton of links. Will there be recipes to follow? Yeah, Sam. You know, like I said, you know, what we do is we develop it. We've got people that are working it. We know that it's great. We're getting some results, and it's still in beta. So, you know, there are going to be things that we tweak. There's going to be recipes that we're going to come up with and share. You know, like Adrian already has a recipe for what he used and how he used this to get, you know, himself to #1 for locksmith in Northern Ireland. You know, that's not an easy term, right? So as people become successful, and Scott, you know, he's tearing it up, coming up with ideas, and this is what he did and how he's moving things, and Adrian and Doss and Vincent, and you know, we have a small group of testers, but we've got a lot of great activity going on and a lot of good results going on at the moment. Is this the training video, or is there more training? Heather, this is pretty much the training, because we've gone through each item and shared with you how to do it. Not to say that we won't, you know, drill down a little bit more, but you know, once we get this completed, we will have training for each individual modules like we do with the other ones. Okay. So Clint, how do we get it? I'm going to put the link in here. If I can find the chat box, there's the chat. And please do me a favor, and hopefully you'll find 1 or 2 buttons on there, but only use the one for the members, because if you don't, you're going to pay over twice as much, and you'll have a monthly recurring. And you know what we've done here is just brought it down into a very, very simple, one-time, affordable, under 5-figure cost. So 5 figures would be, you know, anything over $100. So we're under that significantly. There's your link in the chat box. Does everybody see that? Brent, do all the contents of a folder embed update as well as other file types are added to it, i.e. maps, calendars, and images? Do all of the contents of a folder embed update? Yeah, if you've got calendars that are updating, if you've got, you know, adding more data to an embed for a sheet, you know, it's gonna pull the trigger, and you're going to keep things fresh for you. How do you embed a calendar iFrame into a sheet? Ooh, how, Terry or Henrik, how do you embed a calendar iFrame into a sheet if possible? You can't
put iframes in sheets, but you can put URLs, and the calendar gives you URLs, public URLs.
Right. And put those in here, and then a back-ass-handed way, you've done the same thing. Kind of.
Yeah, but I will later come up with a webinar where I will show you some sneaky tricks to do something like this.
We weren't going to divulge all that at this point, Henrik.
Nope.
We have sneaky tricks. We have other things. So we'll be doing other trainings on some of these recipes to answer the question. I know you said go kind of slow when creating these links. Can you give me some don'ts or what really pushes it to a limit and shouldn't? Dave, we don't have that yet, man. You know, we're just trying to break it. We're trying to see what crushes it. We're trying to see, you know, if we throw how many links, you know, does that site, you
Well,
know,
that's not totally correct, Patrick,
no.
because
3 million is too far.
you won't blast it to money sites. You will always use a buffer like a gsite, like a cloud stack. That's the most secure way of using it. If you put it on full blast on your
You'll just
website,
crush it.
Think of this as tier two stuff.
Yeah.
Blast it at everything that's tier 1 if you want.
Well, I
Blast
just
it
think
to
everybody
your
realizes
clouds.
but in any case, we still have the opportunity to see the needle moving. And, you know, like Henrik said, you don't want to put these to your money sites. But is there a way to send new published URLs to a pre-existing G site? Is there a way to send new published URLs to a pre-existing G site?
You can add them to the sheet that's already embedded there if you've got one embedded in it.
Correct. And then that will keep it fresh. Yes, Heather, this is recorded. Same link for Jay, the same link for Mastermind, but go into the Mastermind to get the discount code for Mastermind. Since this is the only training video, would you ask some of the testers, users, would they be? Yes, Sam, we're already going to be doing that. We just, you know, like I said, haven't been able to get that done yet. Is there only one version or is there a basic, pro, and agency? Brian, there's going to be a basic, there is a pro, there's a platinum, and there's an agency. However, what we're doing here is just giving everybody the platinum at retarded prices. Okay? We just want everybody to be in here to use it and have all of the features. This isn't some, you know, JV Zoo Warrior Forum bullshit sale, right? We built it. You got all these features and it all comes at one flat price. Okay.
Patrick, how many one-time offers are going to follow this? 13 or 14?
I've actually whittled it down to 16.
Okay.
So, I mean, you got to figure what goes better with this than IFTTT offer. What goes better with that than, you know, an embed offer,
yeah.
Right? What goes better with that than a GMB offer? What goes better than that is an RFR offer. I mean, you know, like I said, we're gonna play JV Zoo ping pong with this one. Okay, so Dwayne, it's a single price. You know, I've eliminated the monthlies and I've reduced it over half price on what, you know, the platinum is with the monthly. I just want people to use it. We're not trying to get rich off of this, and, you know, but we have to pay for it. Constance, no, you can watch the replay. Sorry. Can't go back and, you know, go through the whole thing. Great price. Just get as many codes as we want. Yes. Won't Google just see this link, blast money robot links to go away? Won't Google just see this like blast money robot links that go away very quickly?
These are links coming from Google properties.
Yeah. Yeah. Money robot links are pure shit. Right? Not that they don't work or have some validity to them, but they're just, you know, websites that are out there. They're just Web 2.0s. It's just crap. This is, you know, Google's linking from itself. So we've never had a problem ever that I know of, Terry, and you've been around a while, where anything that we've ever done has hurt when we use the buffer, we use the docs stacks, we use the cloud stacks, you know, yeah, they see them and follow them, but you know, it's their own child. What are they going to do? They're not
Google
going to
and
act like human beings and kill their own kids.
right, they tend to reward you for using their different properties.
Correct. Here's the link in here as well. Karen's been working hard to get this ready for us. We really appreciate that. Oh, yeah, Heather, we do ask for everybody's Skype in there. You can type in just your name, Heather, if you want. It doesn't realize what a Skype is, but we do want and ask everybody for their Skype account because that's how we communicate. And so that's why I put that in there. Do I need Backlink Factory with Ranking Factory Revolution? Constance, you already have the Sheets program in Ranking Factory, but it's like, you know, it's a good product, but it's like a 10-year-old. And what Henrik and Terry has showed you here, you know, this is like somebody that's running, you know, is the president of the country. Totally two different products. You can do some of the same things, but you can't get into the stacks. You can't get into, you know, a lot of things Henrik was sharing with you within the Sheets product and within Ranking Factory. But once somebody did ask this, and Henrik, you and I talked about it earlier, is there a way to incorporate this into Ranking Factory? And the basic answer to that is no, but yes, because when you get the results from Ranking Factory, you know, Sheets, what are you doing with them? You're putting them in stacks. You're putting them in documents. You're doing different things with them. Just take the same, you know, URLs that you get from the Ranking Factory and just do the same thing with them in Ranking Factory and GMB Factory. Does that make sense? And, you know, so I don't need to incorporate this into RFR. Let's see, is there a coupon code? Yes, there is if you're a mastermind member. Otherwise, I've already reduced it down to its basic element. And if you're a mastermind, you can go into the mastermind chat room and you can get the coupon code. Rick, you know, is very adamant about Sheets, links, helps move GMBs. Bottom line, you got to have it. Let's see, what else do we got? Q Sheets on crack, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it is a one-time payment. Yes, there's nothing else to go along with it, John. Just simply one time, sir. One time. Now, when we go launch it, it's going to be not one time, but, you know, it's going to have a monthly associated with it because, look, we're going to do the same thing here as we've done with GMB and RFR. If you're brand new to RFR, you should talk to some of the guys that have been here for a long time if you want to validate my statement. Terry, you've been here for how long with RFR? Like 2 years?
Yeah, a lifetime, I guess.
Yeah. So how many different things have you seen us add to Ranking Factory since the first day that you joined for $29 a month?
I'm thinking it was like 3 modules at the time. But yeah, lots of things have been added, and not just added, improved. Of course, it didn't have the cloud stacking at first. It didn't have, I don't think it had the calendar at first even.
Nope.
But of course, didn't have the index. Didn't have the link grabber. Didn't have the gsite builder. You know, I mean,
yeah.
The people behind this Ranking Factory revolution is Patrick and Gary, and then with Chris as the developer, they take people's ideas, and if they can work with them, they'll use them to, if that's going to improve the software, they'll incorporate them if they can. So yeah. And that's one of the reasons for the Skype. The Skype groups are active with people going, well, what if we do this? Is there any way we could do that? And sometimes Chris will say, I think we could do that. I don't know why we didn't think of it before. And they'll they'll add things and improve it and stuff like that. So it's not going to be static software. I can't imagine it being. So it will improve as better ideas come along, or as Google makes changes and things like that. So it really should have a monthly, just because Chris, like most programmers, will want to be paid to make these changes as time goes along. So
Exactly. And we're here for the long run. We're not, cash and dash. So, and most of everybody in here already knows that. Yeah, not Moy's got a point there. It's not abandonware. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Vince, you had your hand up. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to say that, number one, this is probably the best deal that you're going to get based upon what is able to happen right here. Just the pure scripting alone, and the results from the scripting, and the fact that it's all self-contained, and the concepts don't have boxes around them that you can actually stretch them or focus them. I think as time goes by and as more recipes come out and more training, it would bode everyone well to pay attention, because this is going to be something incredibly solid, even more solid than it already is. I mean, I'm seeing results right now in testing it, but this is pretty powerful. And when you get your head wrapped around how it works, the sky's the limit.
And it's still pretty simple. It doesn't take a PhD to figure this one out.
No.
Patrick has figured it out.
There you go. Almost, Terry. Almost.
Just to set the bar.
It took a long time.
But Patrick has explained it to me, and that's what makes it work. If that explains anything, that's how much trouble I'm in. But it's awesome. I just go buy it. You shouldn't even be hesitating.
Yeah. I didn't even actually have to make an easy button this time, Terry. All right. So any other questions? We don't need to belabor this. It's just flipping freaking awesome. And I'm only gonna keep this open for a couple days, and for everybody here at these special prices, and then we're gonna go double up in monthly. So is it $9.99 a month, Jessica? No, you're looking at the wrong one. Go to the one that says Platinum Members. I put the regular price up there so that you could see what the regular price is going to be, and then what the real price for you guys really is, right? Jan, yeah, there's according to my GoToWebinar, it says this session is being recorded, so we're safe. Now we do have to make all of these licenses individually, because I don't have it set up with PKS. So Gary will be making these licenses for you, and then probably in a week after we get through all of this, Henrik, we'll probably do a one-on-one training. One-on-one meaning kind of going through each individual module more than we did today, just so that we can drill this down. Probably should let Gary know that he had no clue when I reached out to him. Oh, he was away, and I didn't tell him he was going to have to do this until just now. So give him some forbearance. He was in hospital or something today when a checkup. So cool.
Patrick.
Right. Yes, sir.
Just so you know, I've been in the testing group playing with this software, but I just went in and bought a copy also, just to have it for another machine, because it's impressive enough software and the results are great. So, I want to be able to use it on, a bunch of machines. I'm not saying a bunch, but
yeah, awesome,
6.
cool. No, we certainly do appreciate that. You get a free copy and it's so good, you go buy another one. Carolyn says, thank you and for making it so affordable. We'd be nuts not to use it. Well, Carolyn, you're nuts anyway, so it just follows suit. Brian is in the tester group and he just got a copy himself as well. So, you know, that's awesome. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. And, you know, literally speaking, what I want to do here is if you have any friends, and some of you have some friends that are in this business and they're not members, you know, make yourself look good and bring them in and we'll open this thing up for a couple days so you can bring some of your friends in and share this with them. Let them be successful. Let them get in on the deal, unless you want to wait until it goes full price and then you want to be an affiliate and make some money on it. But you know, I talked to Gary about this, and you know, even the members that are in their Facebook that are not part of Ranking Factory or GMB, you know, we've invited them to participate. So, you know, if you do have any friends and they're in this business and you'd like to share this with them, you have our blessing to be able to do that, okay? Oh, Steve, if you go into Mastermind group, you'll find it, bud. Thank you. Edward, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. So give us a little bit of grace. We'll get these licenses out to you and make sure everything works over the next day or two. And you know, it's going to be fun. You're gonna really enjoy this. You know, and I'm excited for some of the recipes that are going to be shared in terms of how to do this to get the needles to move, because that's all what it's all about, right? And for those of you that have RFR and GMB, this is just going to take you to an extra level in terms of the links and the power. All right, guys, any other last questions? Replay, yes, it'll be sent out to you either by link or it'll be on the playlist, John. We'll take care of that for everybody. Karen will get that out as soon as we get her done. And we'll be making another Skype group. I think you have a link to the Skype group anyway in the thank you page. All right, guys, Terry, thanks a lot. Henrik, awesome as always. And Henrik, you can go ahead and say what I know you're thinking.
You're welcome.
That's not what you're thinking, but it's okay. All right, guys.
If that's the only thing I can get, then okay.
No, I just wonder if you had any last thoughts. I mean, I'm done talking. You always complain I talk too much.
No, I hope you guys will get a lot of fun out of this one, because it's super. So enjoy.
All
and
right.
have a nice one.
All right, guys. Talk to everybody later. Thank you.